or at least invigorate them to learn new things and learn something else.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. Would love to learn more about it. If you'll drop your contact information in the chat, we save that chat and share it with all our participants at the end of the session. Chris, welcome back.
Yeah, hey, good morning, everyone. Second time 1 Million Cups attendee. Chris Schramm, my company is Schoolie Mitchell. I'm a profitability partner. Kudos to everyone on this call for all the fantastic feedback last week. I just want to say thank you for all the connections I've already made, and I know I still owe a couple of you some replies, but great to be back. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Alex Mattini originally invited me.
Perfect. And Michael.
Yes, good morning. Michael Holmes. As you know, I was Alex's clone, but now Michael Holmes again. Alex and I talked and he invited me. I will be presenting today. The name of my company is Ultimate Transition Specialists. We are a company that downsizes and makes your life much, much easier in the fourth quarter. And excited to present what we have to offer. Born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area.
Beautiful. Welcome. Looking forward to learning more. And Wen-Shay, am I right or am I wrong with that?
Yes, you are right. Hi everyone, I'm Wen Jinling. My company is Pattern Wire LLC. So I help businesses with patent application process if they have invention and intended to apply for patent protection. So I learned about this event, I believe, on fairfaxcall.com. So it talk about this event, and I'm in Fairfax region, so I want to join.
Well, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
You.
We're happy to have you. Next slide, James.
Wait, is Maria, are you new?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I only know because Maria and I have already had a one-on-one.
No worries. Good morning. Thank you.
Morning. So this is an important slide per John Rutenberg. Please scan the QR code and let us know that you are here today. This lets 1 Million Cups national chapter know that we are actually alive and well and the best chapter of 1 Million Cups in the country. You can see our attendees information there. Our goal is to reach 30 repeat attendees by the end of the year. Wednesday mornings are always a good time for me because it gets me out of my head. So I encourage you to invite someone else if you get something out of this meeting today. Always interesting presentations and always interesting conversations. These lovely faces are our organizers and our brand ambassadors. If you have questions about 1 Million Cups, I encourage you to reach out to anyone you see on this slide. You may obviously reach out via chat, but we put our contact information in that chat so that you can reach out afterwards and develop some true connections and some true relationships. We are happily championing 1 Million Cups here in the Fairfax County region. Two partners to mention: Veterans Growing America with Donnell Johns, as well as Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, providing support to entrepreneurs and small businesses and large businesses across the county. Next slide, please. So 1 Million Cups has a national and local mission, and we support the work that's being done, working towards the mission by creating consistent educational experiences for the presenters, while also highlighting the uniqueness in each of our chapters. One thing with 1 Million Cups, this is not just networking, this is relationship building. And the relationships that I've found here are certainly supporting me through some transitions. Next slide, please. Key pillars. If you are new to 1 Million Cups, and even if you're not new, it's important to remember that this is the foundation. Presentations, not pitches. We'd love to hand out money, but not in this current environment. These are not, as I said, it's not networking. It really is authentic connections and relationships. 1 Million Cups is run for the community, by the community. And my favorite pillar, it is radically and intentionally inclusive. So whether you are currently in business for, I don't know, 20 years, whether you are a startup, whether you have an idea for a new business, there's a safe space for you here. And we encourage you to return and bring friends. So our sponsors for today, our location sponsor is the Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax. And this is an incubator space that is supported by George Mason University. However, you do not need to be affiliated with George Mason as an alumni or staff in order to take advantage of the workspace and the mentoring that is provided there. Eddie Hill is the director. You can reach out to him and get additional information. And I believe James is going to talk about an event that we have there later on a later slide. The coffee sponsor just happens to be me today. So 48 Blocks Fine Candy is a new business here in Fairfax County. We are producing handcrafted gourmet candy, marshmallows, fruit pâtés, and caramels. All of our products are gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, soy-free, fat-free, not fun-free. We are, again, I've mentioned this before, but we are seeking a new manufacturing space here in the county. The search continues, but we are in shared space right now where we're able to produce for the holiday season. So if you are looking for corporate gifts, if you're looking for party favors for your holiday parties, or if you're just looking for a sweet treat for yourself, you can check out 48blocksfinecandy.com. Our holiday line goes up live tomorrow. If you want an advent calendar, get them early because I only have a few. Next slide, please. How our meetings work for our newbies and our current members. Use chat. Use chat efficiently and violently. It's a good place to share your identity and your contact information, obviously, but also we don't always have the opportunity to get to all the questions that people are asking. So if you have questions, if you have feedback on questions, the chat's a great place to share it. And then you can save the chat before you leave the meeting by using the 3 buttons in the top right corner of the chat window. And it's also an opportunity to set up additional conversations with other attendees. That way we're not interrupting the speaker or interrupting the flow of conversation. How our meetings work. We'll have a presentation. During the presentation, I ask that everyone except the presenter be on mute on their microphone. I have an 11-pound dog who likes to offer commentary, so I'll be on mute during that presentation. After the presentation, we'll have a question and answer session where we can offer suggestions, mentoring to Michael today as our presenter. Best practices. Sometimes we get a little free flowing, so we try and frame our conversations in the Q&A session with not saying, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, or you should do it this way. Maybe frame them a little more gently. Thanks for the insight. I have a little different perspective, which I think might help. Basically, we all have to be grown-ups during the Q&A session, which isn't always the most popular thing, but we do. So today, Mike Holmes is going to present his business as the ultimate transition specialist. And if I can throw a personal aside in here, Mike, I wish I had had you 18 months ago when I was transitioning my own mom into assisted living, which we accomplished in 36 hours. I think having a plan would have been much, much better. So if you will unmute, we are all ready to hear about this business. And welcome.
Beautiful. Well, first of all, thank you guys again for allowing me to present today. I'm going to give you a quick little background on myself. Born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area. Went to legendary DeMatha Catholic High School, where I was blessed to have about 40-some scholarships to college. I went to the great Howard University, played football there in the local area, and got my degree in finance, minor in accounting, and did not go in that field, but I had a 40-year career in logistics. I've been a freight forwarder, decided to semi-retire, move shipments for President Obama, DOD, FBI, and so many other companies. I don't think there's a country that I haven't shipped to, right? So I wanted to transition into something that is dear to my heart. I lost my mom and dad years ago, and transitioning into heaven is something very, very difficult when it's your parents, right? So I've been a coach, and I'm blessed with putting about 25 kids into college. And now that I'm older, I want to do the same thing for senior citizens. So we decided to start Ultimate Transition Specialists sometime about May, June. Next slide, please. Okay, the challenging question, right? When you're a newcomer in any industry, how do you have a strong brand name recognition within a close-knit community? So I've been doing a lot of research along with going to several networking groups. And this is a very tight-knit community where they have a lot of individuals they've been doing business with. The majority of the audience in assisted living is women. I would say it's 95% women, 5% males. So the women are the ones that control the business. They also, there's two customers you're dealing with here. You have the director of marketing is the assisted living person that works there. And then of course, you have the families that are moving into the assisted living community. So the key thing is to get on the referral list, right? Because let's say Amy would work at ABC Community, and let's say my mom is moving there, she's going to refer us to UTS. So the key is how do we get on the referral list? And that's one of the challenges that we are coming up with. Next slide, please. One thing has been successful for me over my 40-year career is to have a one-page sheet, right? And try to deliver your entire company on a one-page sheet. As we all know, I mean, we have cell phone, laptops, work has interfered into our personal business. So most people don't have, 6 hours to go through a major PowerPoint presentation. So this is just a snapshot of our entire company. Couple of things I wanted to point out is we do have a testimonial. We do have same-day service, 24-hour service. Listed right here are some of the key services that we have: complete move-in solution, space planning, downsizing, packing and moving. One thing I always mention to anyone, the most important thing when you ship anything, whether it's an envelope or $1 million diamond ring, is the packing, right? The packing is very, very key. And then unpacking and settling in, because there's a whole emotional thing about individuals moving into an assisted living community. And then, of course, we do offer clear outs and, of course, storage solutions as well. Next slide, please. So there are 3 owners, myself. There's a gentleman named Reggie Jones that has a lot of IT experience. He's the back office. And there's a gentleman named Greg Cook, who's worked in this industry for about 4 or 5 years. So all of us were friends, and we decided to, again, start this company sometime in May and really take it to another level. Since we're all older, we're all in the late 50s and 60s, we want to be a boutique moving company. We want to be 10 to 12 moves per month. We don't want to be a J&K or Interstate that do 16, 17,000 moves a year. Those days are gone for me. I would have just stayed in the industry I was in. So we want to be known as the company you call when you want to do something that is at the boutique level, right? So right now, there's 3 owners. We have probably 6 talented young telemarketers that do another job. All our employees are 1099. And then we recently bought in Dr. Sonia Richmond. She's the #2 hospice care doctor in the world. And then we brought in another gentleman named Owen Gardner, who is known in this area for life planning, knows everything about Medicaid, Medicare, can help your parents at the end be financially sound. Our goal, we have one goal: take a stressful life, which we all lead, and in the fourth quarter of your parents' life or our life, we want to enjoy it. Let's simplify life at the end. It's very, very key that we do that. So that is our goal, to, at the end, make everything smooth so your parents or yourself, because I'm 62, can enjoy the fourth quarter of your life. Next slide, please. Okay, so the timeline, right? The company was founded this year. We launched somewhere between May and June. We had a couple first secured shipments in May. Remember, Greg had a lot of clients that he knew. So we are doing business on a monthly basis. And one thing I forgot to put is, where do we operate? So we started off in the DMV, which of course everybody knows that's Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Right now, there's several vertical markets that we're focusing on. So we do residential moves. So you can be 35 years old and we can move you, right? We do commercial moves. We also do assisted living. So we are moving shipments right now in the DMV area. However, we're looking to franchise in Florida. If you don't know, Florida is the #1 location for assisted living individuals in the world, right? So we have a couple franchise opportunities there. We also have a franchise opportunity in California as well. And we've also partnered up with some old friends of mine that are large moving companies. #1 is Interstate, and #2 is J&K. These are giants in the industry. We never want to become them. We're their partner and they're our partner. So if they have a very small move, they'll just give it to us because it's not worth their time. If we have a large move of like, a 10,000 square foot house, we'll farm it out to them. So we have a really good relationship there, right? Next slide. So here's the biggest thing that Alex and I were talking about, that we think our company's totally different than any other company in the United States. And Alex even told me that he hasn't seen anybody have this concept. We will do end-to-end, i.e., your mom and dad have been in their home for 30 years. Uh-oh. Can you hear me still? Okay. So your mom and dad have been in your home for 30 years. We can come in and completely do everything. We can get a real estate agent, a home improvement individual. We can trash. We can downsize. We can auction off. And we can move and even store your goods, right? So that takes care of mom and dad physically moving. We also have 2 nurses on staff that can also, when your mom gets to their final destination, they can help train them. Both nurses have trained over 10,000 assisted living nurses. So they've been in the industry for over 40 years. And now here's the key component that I don't think any other company offers. At the end, we have a professional doctor that is #2 in the world in hospice care. She can plan your entire end of your fourth quarter. We also have Owen that will talk to you about what is needed for Medicaid, Medicare, and all the insurances anything that you need until, unfortunately, your death, we can provide at the end of your life, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that you're happy and your mom or dad is happy when they're in either the assisted living or even a new home. And we want them to enjoy, again, the fourth quarter of their lives. Next slide, please. How do we generate revenue? Number one, assisted living communities. There's probably 700 communities in this area, and there are thousands of communities. As you know, this particular industry is growing rapidly. There is, it's not cheap, you know, anywhere between 5,000 and 20,000 per month, assisted living locations and communities cost. The new one is a Trillium in Tyson's. It's $1 million entry fee, and then you have to pay $20,000 a month. So people are building these every day. There's new facilities going up because there's 10,000 baby boomers retiring each day, right? The next is residential and commercial moves. Again, we will move someone that doesn't move into a senior community, just like a regular moving and storage company. One thing I wanted to mention where we're different is this. Let's say Alex needs to move his mom from here to Florida. So if we win the bid, if I'm the project manager, I'm going to be here in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and then I will fly to Sarasota, Florida. So when that truck arrives, I will be the project manager at the destination. So each project manager will follow the shipment from point A to point B. I think that's something else that differentiates us from any other company. I don't think other moving companies have the project manager at the final destination. And then, of course, as I mentioned, life planning, just having a sense of comfort that you don't have to worry about so many things. Next slide, please. What do you offer? I think I've kind of talked about that. You have an idea. One of the things that everyone always talks about, and I say to the community, why do you choose a moving company or a downsizing company? And all of them have the one word, care. It's all about caring for the client, caring for the community, and a sense of caring. All the senior marketing directors use that word care because of the fact that most people who are working in that arena really care about the elderly, right? Who is the ideal client? Someone that's moving into an assisted living community, 55-year-old community, residential and commercial moves. We will also start to branch into some of my old clients like Northrop Grumman, SAIC, and all the big corporations around here for office moves. We're not going to do that for probably another 6 months. The next thing is why are we unique and what do we provide? Again, downsizing your life with a sense of comfort. I mean, you have to be able to enjoy the fourth quarter of your life. The next thing is why are we different? We offer project management solutions that relates to downsizing, wellness, a medical solution, because we do have 2 doctors on staff, and a little bit of financial guidance. Next slide, please. And then our target audience, again, I've already talked about assisted living, residential, commercial moves. And then you get into, you know, what companies or organizations could benefit from partnering up with. Of course, large moving companies like J&K, Interstate, networking groups, assisted living communities. They do these social events. Matter of fact, they have one tomorrow where you've got 7 or 8 different competitors there. And then there's 2 huge networking groups. One is WAFA, is run by a young lady named Sandra Fields, and the other one's Northern Virginia Senior Nursing Association, run by Steve Gurney. Both these individuals have over, I don't know, 800 followers. And Steve actually has a magazine called Positive Living that he lists every single senior community in this area. You have articles, you can advertise as well. And then what marketing channels, are we using? Of course, social media platforms. Believe it or not, newspapers, because the older generation still reads newspapers, right? They like to look at the obituaries, et cetera. And then, of course, any networking group like yourself, just trying to get our word out there, right? Next slide, please. And then again, our competitor is a big one is J&K Moving. We're never going to compete with them. We don't want to compete with them. However, we can do the boutique moving, small moves that they don't want to do, right? Next one is White Glove Solutions. This is a real competitor of ours. Greg worked there for about 4 years. So they are one of our big competitors in this area. They're well known. So we're going to have to go neck and neck with them. Just to give you a quick little insight, there's probably each assisted living place that has 100 beds fields about 70 calls or emails per month, right? Usually they operate on a 70-30, 70% full, 30% empty, right? They like to move in anywhere between 5 to 10 people per month. Remember, a community could have independent living, assisted living, along with memory care and hospice. They could have 4 different buildings. So you may move somebody from one building to the next, right? And last but not least, I picked a low budget carrier, 2 men in the truck. We do have people that are very concerned with how much everything costs, and they really don't care. So they're a low budget provider. I think they charge $95 an hour. So we really don't want to compete with them. They're at a whole nother lower level. I think if this is the last slide coming up, think. Okay, how might you leverage competitors and expand your business opportunities, right? Partnered up with them and offering, if they can offer services that we don't offer, i.e., we really don't want to pack up a 30,000 square foot house. We'll just farm that out to, J&K and Interstate, and then charge a little bit money on top of it. Next slide, please. So the challenging question for us is being a startup, right? How do we penetrate a very close-knit community, being the newcomer, right? And challenge everyone to say, hey, you know what? I know you've been using ABC company, but we bring 40 years of logistics experience, and we can move individuals just as easy as you can. So,
Mike, thank you so much. This offers so many topics for the group to chew on. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's, senior care is near and dear to my heart, and I know I am not the only one. So what I'm going to ask for the Q&A session, raise your hand. Melinda's going to moderate this for us. I think that's her today. And so I will hand it over to you, Melinda.
Great. Couple of things I want to go over first. We also have only 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes for discussion. The presentation went a little bit long, so please ask your question. Don't keep asking things. Michael, answer it quickly if you can, or divert it to later if it's a discussion. I just want to get as many people in here as possible.
no problem.
I tried to send notes to others that you were running long to speed you up, but I guess it didn't.
I tried.
I just want to get you as much feedback as you can.
Perfect.
And I'm going to start with Maria, then Tom, and then I've got a couple of comments since nobody else's hands is up, and then we'll go on from there. Oh, okay. James, you're in there before me, and then after Tom. And then John after me. Okay.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Michael. It was a great presentation. So I come from the graphics and design part or aspect of everything. And I was looking at your brochure when you had it up and other parts of your message, and it's a little bit confusing. I think you're trying to cover a lot. There is, I would recommend that you segment your marketing into I think that the most important and different service is the moving of the elderly parents, and focus that more, since it seems like you might have less competition. I would love to talk to you outside about your brochure. It needs a little bit of extra work.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I mean, that was done real quick. That was like one of the first things we've done. So of course we're going to continue to upgrade. If you go to our website, I think our website offers a little bit more explanation, but point well taken. And, I'll be glad to talk to you.
Okay, next we've got Tom.
Morning, everyone. Michael, great presentation. I want to thank you for giving it to us today. And I will share with you, it's exactly the same presentation you gave my Superior Options for Seniors group about a month, 6 weeks ago. So good presentation. I'd ask that you continue to stay out in front of everybody that's involved in this community. That's the way you're going to grow your business. Printing in a newspaper is great, but you got to be out and press the flesh in this community in order to really grow your business and make an impact. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Next we have
James Lawson.
James, right. Thank you. I was just looking for him.
Sorry, I was hiding. So Michael, question. Are you a moving company or are you helping people transition to assisted living? Because there's a lot of emphasis on moving people and moving homes and yada, 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 right? Which is obviously like there's 100 companies do that. But this whole, I'm still a little confused if the assisted living is only a piece, because I think that should be the core. That's my personal opinion. But I'd like you to answer if you don't mind.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we were a moving and storage company, but now that we see what's going on in the marketplace, we're going to be a transition company, right? With the component of the moving and storage part, right? So we're still kind of figuring that out, because we recently hired 2 doctors, just recently in the last week or 2. So we're going to kind of redesign what we're targeting, but we're always going to be, moving individuals into assisted living. That's just one vertical market.
Right. So as Maria said, I would tend to focus more on that. Yep. And use an emotional content rather than just, because the moving is only a piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be handled. So just for clarification, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump in very quickly, and I had written down a couple of things. I had the same confusion, but I also wanted to suggest not all folks go into senior facilities. My husband and I chose to move to Baltimore. I mean, there are other, and buy our forever home. So you may want to look into other areas. And I was very confused on what is your focus, because you have so much going on and building that brand. I looked later and I said, what was the name of your company? So I can't remember your name of your company right now after listening to a brilliant presentation.
Sure.
Alex, you're next, then John, and then Reggie.
Michael, the first time I met you, I told you how unique your service was. And to everyone's point, what makes you so unique, what makes the audience fall in love with your company and your service is what you do for folks in their 4th quarter. And as sad as that expression is, it is the truth. And I think it's certainly an attention grabber. using the expression fourth quarter. If that is your focus and everything you do, I think you go a long way. In terms of client acquisition, I think everyone should maybe after the meeting, just give it some thought and then communicate with Michael how best to find his clients. Whether he has mastered the art of finding clients, I think we can always be helpful to him. Thank you.
Next, we've got John.
Michael, thank you so much for presenting today. I hope you'll become a regular attendee of 1MillionCups so that you can, in fact, be helping others who present. I want to echo the comments. Having known that you were coming in as someone who's in the transition industry, the message became blurred by your focus on the moving aspect. To me, as James said, the emotional heartstrings is where you make the sale. And apropos to your challenge question of how do you get known, so you need to get known by the 50-year-olds whose parents are 75 plus and are now facing that very difficult time.
Perfect.
So then, sometimes those people hang out in houses of worship. Sometimes those people hang out at industry meetings. We all, if we're lucky, get into our 50s. I don't know about this fourth quarter business or back nine. When I read about this aging process. And so when I get into my 50s and experience this, but that's where the market for your services is. So finding 10 docs/therapists who are contending with the 75-year-old suffering stuff that might be needing assisted living or future accommodations, and hanging with the Tom Shipes of the world who is actively involved. Those are the folks with whom you need to interact to build your transition business. Then it's a layup to get the moving business. Oh, by the way, yes, of course we'll handle that for you. You've already gained the trust. So lead with the emotion, sell the product later.
Reggie.
Thank you, man. Let others ask.
Yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, great presentation. I think I agree with others that transition is kind of where you want to focus on. Like how you use that word, how you talk about what that means. One thing I would suggest is even like the people that you added to your team, maybe like some type of counselor or like a person who can talk about what happens emotionally when that type of transition occurs. Like you need to kind of, as others have said, lead with that message and write blogs and articles about everything about the physical process. Like you guys have got handled and covered. Like I would be confident in referring you with that. But I think you need people on your team and spokespeople that can talk about all the emotional stuff that happens, as well as the logistical, financial stuff that happens too. I think that piece is perhaps missing and could be added and really just kind of make you more well-rounded. And then when people think about transition, they're like, man, UTS has got you covered. Not only the getting mom and dad from A to B, but like everything that you could think of that's involved with that process. Like that'll really, really make your offering stronger and I think help you stand out. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Michael, you're next.
Well, first of all, you have a great first name, Michael. Now, passing that by, I work in the association community, and the largest provider of retirement facilities and assisted living in Florida, you happen to mention Florida, is an organization called Leading Age. I think that the possibility of teaming up with them might be an interesting way of doing what some other people have already mentioned here, focusing your business. They already have the clientele. They're better known than almost anybody else in this space. And they're huge in the southeastern part of the United States, where a lot of elderly people go in that quote fourth quarter. So if you like, I can give you an introduction. Just send me an email and I'll be happy to make some introductions for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we've got, I guess I can ask another question. And please put your hands up if you've got other questions. As you are approaching your target audience, have you considered alliances with organizations like AARP?
Not yet, no. That's a good idea, though.
And there may be some associations that also may fit that bill, and or SHRM, SHRM, out of Alexandria. They're national and they're HR. So they've got people that are getting into retirement in organizations, and maybe that can be offered as a benefit into companies. Because I know when my husband had help from HR when he was going through the process of retiring, it would have been nice if they could have referred him to somebody like yourself. So that might be another good
Maria
idea.
has
Great
her
idea.
hand up. Maria has her hand up.
Oh, great. I'm sorry, Maria, please.
No worries. I was actually also adding stuff. I know that, for example, Sunrise and other assisted living, they not only have local, but they also have corporate offices where you can also reach out. Most communities would have senior services. So that's also another idea. I have been working with Vienna. I can put you, please remind me to make an introduction to their service, to their senior services. And they've done, like, every year they do, I believe it's every year, they do yeah, I forgot the word, but everybody, they do a fair. They do a fair only for senior citizens. So they have all those services in there. And I think that was what it just popped into my mind.
Okay.
I love all the offers for partnerships and collaborations and the thoughts on this. And so we're gonna go ahead to ask our 1 million cups question.
And I was going to ask John, ask it just so I can jump in and continue what I was doing. John, would you ask the last question, please?
First, yeah, but first, Alex.
Yeah, I wanted to get Alex, but Amy jumped in.
Just really quickly, it's all right. Do you want one summary question as the man who brought Michael to the meeting?
Just last question. I work with a lot of senior care franchises. One way they reach out to their customers and find them is by having appointment setters that call on seniors, and a list of seniors can be had very easily. Washington Metro is the third largest home for seniors nationwide. So you are in an incredibly good market. I can find out, and again, it's easy to do this, appointment setters and a mailing list of and call list for seniors in the community. I will share that with you after the meeting.
Yeah. So Michael, we have a tradition in our group, which is to ask this very important question. While you've heard great ideas, suggestions, and questions that you can ponder, what else can our 1 Million Cups community help you with today?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for allowing me to present. Second of all, love the fact that we have people that are willing to help. Believe me, I've been in sales for 38 years and a football head, so nothing hurts my feelings. But I really believe I go on the very simple, 2 heads are better than 1. 2 people are smarter than 1 person. So any feedback or any suggestions that you guys can give us, we will continue to listen and learn. And that's really what you can do for us. If you can help us grow and I can share the favor, we will do that.
So one last comment and then back to Amy. Please put your contact info in the chat so everyone has it.
Absolutely.
Mike, thanks you so much for this. It's enlightening, interesting, and so many thoughts swirling around. And I know it's not just in my head, but I believe you've got the entire community thinking right now. So next week's presentation is coming from Dunbar. John, do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
okay.
the entrepreneur, Jose Bellos, is in Tampa, Florida, by the way, which is certainly a tough situation. But Dunbar is an app that manages a company's online reviews. So when you set up, whether it's Google or Yelp, to have your customers give a review, any negative reviews gets channeled to the manager of the restaurant or company, whatever is the company receiving the Google or Yelp review, as opposed to going right onto Yelp. All positive reviews go straight to whatever the review site is. And this gives a company an opportunity to address a negative review with the person who submitted it without it ever reaching Yelp or its final destination. So it's cool.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
So if any of you, based on your participation in today's meeting, are interested in becoming an organizer, it's a great opportunity to gain visibility for your business, as well as contribute to entrepreneurship in the community through a really unique mastermind format. Small commitment for a large return. Type me into the chat. We'd love to have you. James, can you please speak to some of these upcoming events?
I can, Amy, and I'm very excited about these upcoming events. So the 9th, that is when? Is that today or tomorrow? That's today. So this one's probably finished.
Right.
I just realized, yeah, this one's probably over. But there is an event tomorrow, leveraging AI for business efficiency, which, and by the way, we're going to copy this. I'm going to put it in the chat. They have links. So if there's anything you're interested in, you can just go jump on that link and check it out. Central Fairfax business business after hours networking event. That's also tomorrow. Fire Station 3 in Fairfax, where that is being held. So if you like to go and have a quick drink and meet some people, that's the place to go. Mason Enterprise is also hosting a business network night for the 1 Million Cups community. So on the 17th, get together. Again, the link will be in there, but if you're like to be part of the 1 Million Cups community, come and join us and network with us. And then on the 18th, I'm hosting a business growth and planning workshop. That's at the Reston Chamber of Commerce. It's a morning event, and it's all designed to help you get planning for Q4 and start setting goals for 2025. So that's what's going on. And then, of course, the Veterans Growing America Business Pop-Up Shop. This is something that happens consecutively. So again, all this will be in the chat. So if you're interested, you can pick up the links in the chat and go and check it out.
Beautiful. So you can see our presenter schedule here. We have some space in the schedule. Next week's obviously Dunbar. The day after will be our networking social, which I'm looking forward to seeing people in real life as opposed to just on the screens. So I know everyone's wearing pants and not just shirts here in front of the cameras. October 23rd, we have an opening for a speaker. We do have some applications that are in review. You can use the QR code on this page to apply to be a presenter in October or November. Our goal is always to have the schedule filled a month out. So if you're interested, please scan that QR code to apply. help spread the good news, become an evangelist for 1 Million Cups. This QR code will take you to all our social media channels, and we'd love for you to follow along and share the posts. The best way to get the word out is by word of mouth between colleagues and friends. I think I said this at the beginning. 1 Million Cups offers me an opportunity to get out of my own head, because we know entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey. So if you want to hang out for a little while after the meeting and get to know folks better from the waist up and have a conversation, please do. Also, if you haven't checked in, please scan the QR code, which I'm about to do right now because I didn't do it. Scan the QR code on this slide. This lets 1 Million Cups know that we are active and engaged as part of the community. Thanks, Mike, again for your presentation. Look forward to learning more, and come on all back, or hope you'll come back and give us an update in the future. And looking forward to hearing about your progress. Don't forget to save the chat. Once
Stick this in
James
Michael
puts
has
his
raised
links
his
in
hand.
there.
Michael has raised his
Yeah,
hand.
we'll get all this in here. Hold on.
Yeah, will I get a copy of this for the recording so I can listen to it? Okay, good.
Yes. And we'll
After you pay the
post-
$5,000, it's no problem. You can have 2 copies.
No problem.
please make that check out to the MC, 48 Blocks Fine Candy.
Exactly.
Remember, my name is Alex.
New and improved.
New and improved.
Exactly. That was great, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much.
And hope you'll join us again.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Great group. Great job, Amy and Melinda. And James.
And James.
Yeah.
And
My
James is
my
posting.
finger was working overtime.
I'm sorry.
I would
James,
take
you
the
have a
rest
link
of
for
the day off.
I'm exhausted.
So everyone, is the Mason Enterprise event on the 17th.
Yes.
I wanted
I'm
to
stopping
encourage-
the recording.
Please.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we